Hello everyone, let the tragedy begin. Today I'll be reading One Piece chapter 1185. It's been a bit, but last chapter, we had a flashback within a flashback, which was pretty interesting, especially because the chapter began with a time skip. We had, Shuri, 14 years old, Brook, 27 years old, and so Oda like jumped forward in time, but then he's like, "Nope, we're going even further back than the chapter prior." But yeah, it was essentially Brook's like childhood, getting to learn more about that, which is really cool. I did like the chapter. We got to see a little bit more of his relationship with Prince. I guess at the time it was Prince Leuven, but now King Leuven. And yeah, just got to see a little bit more of the relationship. Pretty wholesome. I like kind of Leuven, despite being a prince and being royalty, and having all these privileges, he kind of was allured by Brook and his music and his general vibe and personality. It's just really stuck out to Leuven, and always wanted to hang out with him. And then at the end of the chapter, we had sort of this little incident where Brook, was taking curry powder from a Navy ship, but there was also some drugs involved with like the Mulan Moran family, and the Navy thought that Brook was the powder that Brooks was taking was like the drugs, right? But it was actually curry powder, and so they were literally gonna kill a child, guys. Oh my god, they were gonna literally. They're like, well, even if we're wrong, we still gotta kill him, which was insane. But luckily, Leuven and Candelle came to the rescue and saved Brook, and Brook's now living in the castle. And yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little flashback. I'm glad Oda spent a chapter fleshing out Leuven because it seems like he's gonna be the central person that's gonna die, right? Every flashback's got like the person who's gonna die a tragic death, and we don't know much about Prince, or we didn't know much about Leuven prior in the chapter prior. We had just met him. He was already an adult, but we didn't know why Brook, owed him everything. But now we know, right? The chapter was necessary. It really was. It really was necessary to flesh out their relationship, so we actually care about Leuven when he eventually does, you know, fall and die, right, at the hands of Shuri, actually, which is going to be even more tragic in that sense. So yeah, that was the anything I'm forgetting from last chapter? No, I don't think so. Again, just nice to sing Brook. We got a new song from him. Also, little subtle mention and hints at how his parents and family, right, his little brother died of starvation, which is also tragic in and of itself. So Brook literally experienced that. The little flashback we got last chapter, the overall flashback we're gonna get, and then the Thriller Bark flashback. So Brook, oh Jesus, he's been through a lot. Oh my God, he might be one of the most tragic characters in the story. I think, right? He'll easily be in contention for that by the end. But yeah, so good chapter last time. But in terms of this chapter, let's see. Also, something I wanted to bring up about Candelle, right? Last chapter I read the TCB, and they had this line of dialogue where Leuven was like, Candelle. Well, he wasn't direct. I don't think he was directly addressing her, but Leuven was like, oh, the Marines suck. I don't care if they're backed by the world government. And he's like, isn't that right, Candelle? And then Candelle's like, I'm your humble, what is it like? Uh, what was the term? It was freaking devoted blade of God, right? Devoted blade of God. And that specific term is obviously the title that is given to people with the shallow covenant, right? With which Gunko had at some point, and then Shanks had also, right? We saw in the flashback earlier in the arc. So there was that, and I thought that was clearly Oda like hinting at candles maybe associated with the Knights of God and stuff, but that it was a translation error, right? If you look at the well, it's not an error in translation, but it's like not the best choice of words considering it looks like the same as this other translation, but if you actually look at the Japanese, it's different, right? The term for the devoted blade of God is different from what Candelle used in that chapter. So any evidence I had about, Candelle being, no, we can just toss that specific point of evidence out of the water, which made me jump me from kind of 50-50 to 99%. But no, we're back to 50-50 now. But it's still, Candelle's still an interesting character because she was not mentioned by Brook, right? Brook, like when we saw Nelbath, he mentioned that he was talking to Gunko and was like, "You killed my father, or not my father. You killed your father, the man I owe everything to." But we didn't get a mention of the mother, right? You would think that in this tragedy, both Gunko would probably kill the king and the queen, but not the queen. So that what is that? What happened to the queen? Because clearly the queen's not some irrelevant person, right? Brooke has a relationship with them, has a crush on them. She's clearly important. Brooke didn't mention her, so that kind of means to me that Gunko Shuri at the time did not kill her, right? So she didn't kill her. She only killed her father. But then that also begs the question, is Candelle still alive? Is she still alive? If not, then she died. How did she die? Did someone else kill her? Was it another Knight of God? Lots of questions. And here's the thing. I saw someone bring this up, but Candelle, if she is a Knight of God in this guy in like undercover, she was not at God Valley, and I feel like she would have been at God Valley. Um, it would have made sense for her to be at God Valley, but she wasn't, and that makes me think maybe she was killed by the Knights of God themselves. Maybe Emu ordered Candelle to be killed. Maybe it's a situation where Candelle was put undercover for whatever reason, which I still don't know. Right, that's also a big hole in this kind of in these suspicions, but maybe she was put in there as undercover. She fell in love. She's like, hey, I don't know if I want to be doing this anymore, and she was killed for it, right? That and maybe someone else did it. Maybe it was Emu themselves who did the deed. But and then Shuri obviously didn't. She was Candelle was dead. Shuri didn't have an opportunity to kill her as well. She just killed her father, and that's what prompts Brooke to say, only right her you killed your father, didn't bring up the mother at all. So that's just interesting. So yeah, TLDR, it's weird that she hasn't been mentioned by Brooke up to this point, and that's kind of what was leading to my suspicions. But I guess we'll find out in this chapter, right? Maybe, or maybe the next chapter. But yeah, I just want to bring that up about Candelle and the situation there. Again, I'm 50-50. She could be not. In general, I just want to know more about Candelle. Maybe this chapter could be focused on Candelle and her characterization a little bit, because we don't know much about her. We just gotten, she's really, people love her. She's really strong, but I want to get to know her more at a deeper level, right? So if this chapter is dedicated to fleshing that out a little bit, hey, maybe I'll be wrong. I'll literally be wrong. The only reason I'm a little suspicious is because we don't know much about her. That's it, right? I'll always be suspicious about characters we don't know much about. Especially in this context where it's a flashback, but she was not brought up. She was not even mentioned by Brooke, and we only found out she existed. Well, we knew, obviously, Shuri had a mother, right? That doesn't make sense why she wouldn't, but as this prominent character, we didn't really know that. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. In terms of predictions, in terms of spoilers, okay, I know. Yesterday I literally hopped on YouTube, recommended, or I just pulled up YouTube, and right as it was loading, I was like, okay, I shouldn't be pulling this up. I think the chapter's out, and I'm like, whatever. There's no way I'm gonna get something on the front page. The big YouTubers probably haven't made their videos on it, and I was right. But there was this right on the front page. I didn't even scroll down. It was this thumbnail about the chapter. It was like it's probably from this just small channel that just is on my recommended. I don't know who it was. His random ass channel with this thumbnail about the chapter. I saw 1185, and it didn't show any panels, but it was text on the thumbnail that said, like, oh, I'm even forgetting what it said now, which is a good thing, but I'm pretty sure it says something along the lines of like, everything is destroyed or destruction, or I don't know. I might be even wrong about that. I don't know, but what that tells me is maybe we're going to begin the tragedy this chapter, right? The good Knights of God are going to get involved. Maybe Asperia gets destroyed in this chapter. Maybe the flashback ends this chapter. I don't think so. I still think we got like just 2 more chapters at least, but 3 probably. But yeah, so that's all I know in terms of spoilers. Predictions, yeah, I just think we got to get into this tragedy. I think we're gonna see how the Knights of God come into play. I think we're gonna potentially. I was thinking, what if we get an emu face reveal? And I know we technically already did, but I'm talking about blob emu, right? Emu with the crown, emu with the veil, because we don't know what that looks like. Emu transformed in Elbaf. We know what that looks like, but we don't know what the blob emu looks like. And I don't know if Oda wants to save a particular moment to reveal that in the present day, or this would be prime time to do it. So I think we maybe could get an emu face reveal, second emu face reveal. And again, Knights of God introduced, seeing how they get involved with Hesperia, seeing how Brooks knows them. Maybe we meet Yorkie as well. Um, Maybe Brook eats his devil fruit. We'll see that maybe as well. I don't know. But yeah, those are my predictions for the chapter. I guess these, straight, not very concentrated, but I just threw those out there. And as always, an L and a Rouge, please, Oda. Okay. Oh, what's gonna be the reader request? Let's wait. Let me just pull up TCB. Let's see. Reader request. I'm trying to think. What do we have last time? We had Brook last time, which was very on the nose. I won't guess a Straw Hat. I'll guess like what's like a popular character. Rebecca. I don't know. I'll just go with Rebecca. I have not read the title yet. We'll read the title now. Chapter 1185. Y'all better buzz off. Y'all better buzz off. Who is saying that phrase? Is it gonna be Brook, Leuven? I would guess Leuven. That feels like something Leuven's gonna say. Like to the Knights of God. Maybe the Knights of God show up and he's like, y'all better buzz off. I don't know. That's my prediction there. So clearly there's some unwanted people that are going to arrive. Yeah, I think that might be just straight up be an indication that the Knights of God are in this chapter. Judging by that title, but moving on to the thing. Oh, it's a boa. Okay. Cover request by Masako. Hancock hones her cooking skills for Luffy. Oh, so we got, oh, this is nice. I like this. She's, cooking everything up, and, well, things are on fire right now. I don't know if that's the best, but I'm sure if it's meat, which I think it is, if it's meat and it's cooked, I think Luffy will eat it. Actually, we saw Luffy complaining a little bit about the heat of his food in, many, many chapters ago, but yeah, no, I like this cute little cover request by Masako, and yeah, Boa Hancock. When's the last time we've seen Boa? Is it including cover requests? I'm pretty sure. Obviously, this is now the latest time, but was before that in like the actual, like the main story, like back in Egghead, right? I don't think we saw her during Vegapunk's broadcast, which is interesting, honestly, now that I think about it. But yeah, always good to see Boa again. Oda note this week: Lawson's Pari Pari chicken is insane. It's the type of food you could open a store and sell just that. So Oda talk about the food he eats. It's always food, concerts, and just meeting people, which is good. I mean, I'm glad we're getting this little, Oda's doing other stuff. He's just talking about what he's eating, and yeah. So let's start off. First panel. Brook's childhood, says the shown. Oh, we're just picking back. I didn't. I should have said this in. I should have thought about this more. I think I did, but I didn't bring it up right now. But I guess I was thinking originally we were gonna pick up from the 7-year time skip from the beginning of last chapter. But I guess we're picking up from the end of last chapter, which was the flashback within the flashback. So interesting. I doubt we're going to spend the whole chapter here. If we are, then I severely underestimated the length of this flashback. But yeah, so Brook's childhood, says the Shonen Jump text. We got Leuven over here, first panel. Candelle, make Brook your page. Your page. Is that like a term? I don't know. I might not be familiar with what is it? I'll just look it up now. Page definition. Is that like a term for like a assistant or something? I'm just trying to. Wait, I just found a very specific definition. A youth being trained for the medieval rank of knight and in the personal service of a knight. So a young, okay. Oh, so like an attendant. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So that's why you learn something new every day. But yeah, Candelle, make Brook your page. Teach him good manners and how to speak properly. You got it, Lord Leuven. Okay, maybe this is a chapter where we'll get a little bit of more fleshing out of Candelle, and then I don't have to be suspicious. I don't want to be suspicious of her, but yeah, I think this chapter maybe can alleviate a little bit of that. You got it, Lord Leuven. Then we get a little panel of Brook right here. Very similar. It's honestly, he's in the same courtyard, but it's like Oda's like drawing him in these same positions, right? We had him like kind of walking straight forward, right, in the first chapter, and then we had him again in the time skip one where he's holding Shuri's hand in both of those. And now it's like the same thing. He's just walking forward straight up, but now he's a kid. He's carrying this big ass sword. Is that his soul solid? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It's just a basic like rapier or something. I don't know. I wonder when like how he gets his soul solid and when. But Brook, he says, Child Brook, wow, the palace, and he's looking around. He's walking around the courtyard. I wonder what his shirt says. Got some kanji on it. He's saying, oh, okay, I just read the next line. Wow, the palace is packed with cute babes. There's one hottie, two hotties, or not her. Three hottie. Oh, come on, Brooke. I see. Brooke, come on. That's crazy, bro. Fat shaming in the Big 26. But yeah, or not. So he says that, and then Kendall's like, cut it out. Just cut it, Brooke. We gotta teach you manners. She's walking in front of him. Next panel. Brooke saying, don't worry, you're still number one, Candelle. And then Candelle's like, that's Lady Candelle. You're my page now. Yo, let me see your panties, says Brooke. Says to one of the people they pass by, and then she's like, Brooke, what the hell, man? Okay, so yeah, so even as a child, right? We had that moment last chapter, but here it's even at an earlier point in time. Next panel. We got that this is in the palace, I guess, or this is, I guess, in school, right? Yeah, there's some other kids in the back, so I'm guessing this is the school. And then Candelle's right here saying, hey, do you have an issue with wearing your school uniform? And then Brooke says, if I let that school cramp my style, I won't be able to jam and make good tunes anymore. Don't worry, though. I'm looking forward to rocking a guard corps outfit, guard corps uniform one day, says Brooke. So he's like, nah, I'm not wearing that freaking, the very tight and clothing. I want to, wear my style, right? Be more comfortable in my own clothing. And he's carrying a guitar. He actually has an instrument now instead of that makeshift violin he had last chapter. And we're just getting a little bit of a montage, right? So the school little panel, and then Brooks sleeping on his bed with the guitar, holding the guitar, and Candelle smiling. Okay, see, bro, Candelle, look, finally, I'm getting done. Candelle, she's a sweet person. See, this is what I was saying. I needed more, like moments. I don't know. Maybe I'll take those words back, but yeah, Candelle's just smiling at him sleeping and trying to teach him, and he's working as her page. But okay, next panel. Gotta admit, I'm jealous, says one of the guard corps probably. I can't believe this kid gets to be Lady Candelle's page. Yo, says Brooke. So they're like in whatever their locker room, or I don't know what the hell. Now they're outside, and Brooke's saying, Candelle, do you have a type of guy you go for? Of course, he asks that, and then Lady Candelle says, Lady Candelle. Oh, wait, Lady Candelle. Wait, what is this? Am I reading this right? Candelle, do you have a type of guy you go for? Lady Candelle, there's one man, but okay, I don't know why this panel's like that. I don't know why she said that, because it looks like she says that. It's like not something Brooke says. But she replies with, and they're training, and they're like slashing stuff. There is one man, but he's out of my league. And, I'm assuming that refers to Leuven. And, they're training right there. Okay. Maybe we'll see how that develops, probably. And she continues, still, the reason I train so hard with the sword is to be by his side. Leuven. Interesting. Maybe we'll get a little bit of her flashback here. Another flashback within a flashback. That'd be crazy. But she says that and replies with, I bet you'd get him if you dress more like a chick instead of a dude. Okay, instead of a dude. That's not necessary, says Candelle. Being near him is more than enough for me. Right. And then Brooke says, huh? Near him? Does that mean, oh, so He's, I think Brook's starting to put the pieces together, if he hasn't already, about who this person is. It's okay, of course. It's, give it another try, Brook. He says, "It's me? It's me, I'm the person? Of course not," says Candelle. And then Brook continues saying, "Lady Candelle, don't tell me you even wear men's underwear." "I don't," says Candelle. "Really? Then you've got to let me see your panties," says Brook. "Brook, your language is not improving. You have to be polite and use honorifics when you ask someone for a favor." Oh, is it those? Wait, does Brook say an honorific when he asks someone for panties, like in Japanese? Is it pantsu? But maybe there's a distinction here. Maybe in the original Japanese right here, he's not saying it with a honorific, right? Because he says, "May I please see your panties?" in, like, the English and stuff. Um, Interesting. But yeah, they're walking in, like, the square or whatever, like the little town. And people are gawking at, Candle walking, and Brooks right behind her with, still this big ass sword on his back. But he's saying, he continues and saying, and says, "Would you be so kind as to show me your panties?" So that's what he says now. So yeah, I guess, she said learn manners, and it's like, okay, I'll be more polite about this weird phrase, but it's a polite version of it. So that's interesting. And he says that, and Candel's like, "Of course not. Even outside of politeness, you need to consider basic decency too. I'm going to drill good etiquette into you." "Good grief," says Candle. Oh, we're going back to the present. Okay, so or not okay, present, relatively speaking. It's back to the present of what this, right before this flashback, this mini flashback, but not the present overall, of course, like in the story. But okay, we're going back to essentially the 7-year time skip. Um, and okay, so yeah, I guess Oda spent obviously the last chapter establishing Brook and Leuven's relationship, and he spent the first half of this and this sort of in that same little time period establishing Brook and Candel's relationship, and I like that, right? I like that. And again, I'm less suspicious of Candel now. Now that we actually get a little bit of their relationship together, she clearly, likes Brook and thinks, he's a cute little kid, but and wants to, better him with manners and stuff. But and yeah, I mean, actually, I was gonna add a but to that, but not really anything to add. In contrary to that, it's just nice, cute little relationship. Maybe Kendall's, there's something within, but yeah, my suspicion has gone down, I would say. But next panel, we got strength and etiquette go hand in hand. Says, it continues. This is actually, no, okay. Continues what Candell was saying to Brooke earlier. Strength and etiquette go hand in hand. "What? Then I'll do my best," says Brooke. "I mean, I shall endeavor to give it my all," says it with a little bit more eloquence, as they continue to walk, like in the square of this town, and transitioning back to this 27-year-old Brooke saying, "There's not a soul around," playing the guitar, "who doesn't admire Lady Candell," as Shuri is listening. Next panel, Brooke continues, "She shines like the sun over the whole nation." Like the sun, interesting. Now that I think about it, there was this one time a world government ship drifted up here in Asperia. Are we gonna get another flashback? Oh, I don't think so, but now that I think about it, there was this one time a world government ship drifted up here in Asperia. The kingdom was thrown into panic, as no one had ever dealt directly with people of such stature. Drifted up here. What does that mean? Does it mean drifted up here at like like how Miosgar drifted up to, Fishman Island, or is it like drifted up as in how Saint Jalmac from the ASL flashback drifted up to the Goa Kingdom, right? Was it intentional or was it unintentional, is what I'm basically asking. There was this one time a world government, okay, the kingdom's thrown into panic. I'm assuming, I mean, at this point, Knights of God, right? Occam's razor says Knights of God, in terms of who was on that ship. And then, Shuri asks, the Celestial Dragons? So she knows about them. And then Brooke says, "Yep, the pressure was overwhelming." Okay, so hey, it still could be the Knights of God. They're technically Celestial Dragons. But I wonder when this took place. Okay, so Brooke says that, "Yep, the pressure was overwhelming," as he continues to play the guitar, and he continues by saying, "Lady Candelle was actually bedridden for a few months after that. Probably due to stress. Probably due to the stress. You wouldn't believe how dark the kingdom felt back then. Yo ho ho ho. I shouldn't laugh, but it was really like the sun set on our kingdom. Interesting. So the world government ship showed up, and right after, Candelle was just bedridden for months. Interesting. That so there. I mean, I just said, Candelle. I'm sure maybe Candelle's a good person, but clearly there's some connection between her and the Knights of God. Interesting. Or at least there's something she knows, right? She might not be working for them, but there's something. There's a connection there, which I guess is what led her to being bedridden for a few months. Interesting. Okay, so Shuri is listening to this, and Brooke continues by saying, "But that was just the beginning. You wouldn't believe the influx of news that followed, Princess." Okay. Next panel, Brooke says, "Your father, the renowned rugged prince, ascended the throne." Okay. Okay, so I guess this whatever incident with the ship took place like right before um Leuven was going to become king. But now here, your father, the renowned rugged prince, ascended the throne, and at the same time, he married your mother, Lady Candelle. The celebrations across Hesperia were as thrilling as a live concert. And we see like this little flashback in the background as Brooke is saying this, with them becoming king and queen, and all saying, the big ceremony and people waving at them and going crazy. Okay, next panel. And Brooke continues, "And then we were blessed with your birth, Princess Shuri." And he stands up and is like, "Yeah." And he continues playing his guitar and says, "The nation positively bubbled over with joy. People were always saying, 'I want to see her face,' or 'she's so cute,' or 'she takes after her mother.'" And Shuri's listening to all this. ... And Brooke says, "Oops, I'm getting off topic. But you get the picture. That's why I love your folks. They're my ultimate benefactors. In fact, I'd gladly relinquish my life for those two. Check out my latest hit, Relinquish Rock." I don't know if he's going to play this song, but we get this another panel of kind of the palace and the castle itself. But yeah, so yeah, this whole little thing, this whole little conversation Brooke's trying to basically get at is that, I love your parents. Your parents are very special to me. You're very special to me, and we're all happy and it's all great. But that's just gonna make the tragedy hit even harder, man, when presumably obviously Leuven dies, and if Candelle dies, that's gonna suck too. But yeah. Okay, so next panel, Shuri asks, mommy and daddy, "So Brooke, what would you do if I were in danger?" Okay, so testing a little bit of this, and Brooke saying, "That's obvious. I'd lay down my life in a heartbeat for you too." "Is that just because I'm their daughter?" says Shuri. And she's kind of saying this, and Brooks, two exclamation points. Shuri, she's a little testing that thought, I guess she had, that intrusive thought a little bit, but of course Brooke would save her as well. And Brooke is saying, "No, it's because you're you. You're supposed to say that wholeheartedly, without hesitation," says Shuri. So I'm getting a little mad. Brooke didn't immediately, say that to her, right, when she asked that question. And she's like a little frustrated, puffing her cheeks out. And then Brooke offers her a lollipop, and she just like looks behind and with hearts in her eyes. Interesting. Okay, next panel. A little bit of a... It's okay. So a little time passes by, and they're now sparring a little bit in the courtyard of the garden, right, the palace. And as they're doing this, Leuven's right here, and I guess I guess they're done sparring now, and Shuri's on Brooke's shoulders, and she's like, "Hey, daddy," and Leuven's like, "Use father instead. You're not a little girl anymore." "Love you too, father," says Shuri, as both Candelle and Leuven watch them. Both, well, Leuven's a little bit like, whatever, right, about the, "Love you too, father," and Candelle's smiling, watching them. Okay, next panel. Princess Shuri. I'm guessing Brooke is saying this, but this is a montage. I'm guessing Brooke is saying this as this little montage is happening, but Princess Shuri, if you're craving freedom from your parents, you can always vent it out with a song like this. And we get a little scene of Shuri, I guess, cutting herself on her finger, and Brooke bringing, first aid, and everyone freaking out around Shuri, but it's clearly not a big injury. Um, y'all better buzz out. Oh, it's a song. The title of the chapter is a reference to a song. Okay, you can always vent it out with a song like this. Y'all better. So it's in reference to just saying, Shuri trying to tell her parents, chill. Let me be a little bit more free. Give me my freedom, right? Classic teenager type thing. Y'all better buzz off. And we get another scene where Shuri, it's raining, I guess, and Shuri's, petting this dog, and Brooke holds up the umbrella for her. Kind of reminds me of that one crocodile cover request with the pug, right, where he's like, holds the umbrella over it. But yeah, so yeah, little scene right there, and then Shuri responds to this stuff that Brooke's saying, y'all better buzz off, by saying, ah ha ha, why do those lyrics sound so weird? And we get another little scene where Brooke's measuring her height, right? You know how, so I did this, right? But, some parents just like, put lines and marks on the wall, and puts numbers. So then, the kid stands at the wall and you can see your height. That's what Brooke's doing here. So, like it's somewhere in the palace. Next panel. It's a dialect from a kingdom in the west called Kamigata. Whoa. So Brooks explaining why his lyrics sound so weird. It's a dialect. So Brooks speaks an interesting dialect? Okay. Or at least in these lyrics. From a kingdom. Is that still applicable to the songs now? I wonder. From a kingdom in the west called Kamigata. I wonder what that place is, what country that references, right? Like real world country. Maybe if it does, right? If any. We get another scene of like Brooke asking, I'm guessing, someone for their panties, and Shuri like kicking him on the head, and as other princes, I guess, or whatever, like gawking over Shuri. And we get another scene of Shuri. Oh my god, this is crazy. Shuri like has like this piece of cloth with like a skull on it, so it's kind of like a ghost but with a skull, and shows it to Brooke, and Brooke's running away screaming, his skeleton. Oh my gosh. Uh, yeah, so that's kind of ominous little foreshadowing there. Obviously, it's just a fun little scene, but you know what Brooke becomes later. And now we skip to them singing. Oh, they're by the coast, right? The little like the back junkyard place where him and Leuven used to, hang out and fish, and that's what they're doing. Shuri's fishing, and they're all singing this song, Y'all Better Buzz Off. Y'all better buzz off. We ain't pups brought off with treats. And oh my god, this is just great little montage. Even more stuff. So Brooke's like in bed, and in like the infirmary or whatever, and Shuri's trying to freaking fight with the nurse. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe she's trying to be like, hey, make sure Brooke is good. I don't know. Make sure Brooke is like treated well or something. But we get another panel of Candelle teaching Shuri how to cook, and we get another one of Brooke eating as Shuri is sleeping, right? So he's eating in the background, and Shuri's sleeping. So yeah, I'll just read this again. Y'all better buzz off. We ain't pups brought off with treats. We ain't kids turned around by sweets. Don't know the melody for this. And we get another panel of them smiling, Brooke and Shuri hugging Brooke, and oh my god, Oda, please no. Oda knows what he's doing, dude. He's fucking like just having these wholesome ass moments now. Between this family, this very tight knit family. Brooke's not even related to them, but he's in the oh my god, no. Oda, why? Anyway, next battle. This is after this very sweet little hug from both of them in Shuri's 15th year. Oh no. Because we know at age 21, I believe it is 21, that's the year where Shuri's already with Emu. That's the year Rox, during the reverie of that year, right? Shows up to the flower room. That's when she's 21. So it's only, it says in Shuri's 15th year, that's only, 6 years after that. But I guess, so yeah, 1 year later, right? Because Shuri was 14 in this kind of beginning. So 1 year later, in Shuri's 15th year, huh? Says this random musician. It's out of tune. And so he's trying to play the violin, and he's wondering why it's out of tune. In Shuri, we're in narrator Sama, okay. In Shuri's 15th year, Music died in these. What are we getting? Like, is Oda like fucking introducing it? Oh, is Oda like previewing what's about to happen, or the narrator, I guess, previewing what's about to happen? Is this the end of the chapter? Maybe this is how he's gonna end it, with this ominous preview of what's to come. In Shuri's 15th year, music died in the kingdom of Hesperia. A thick mist surrounded the country and lingered for half a year. A thick mist? That reminds me of Thriller Bark. Is this Thriller? I mean, people were saying it's Hesperia Thriller Bark. From the looks of how it's built, I mean, how it, like, if you compare the look of Thriller Bark and Hesperia, yeah, they're different. They're a little different. They're not the same, right, on first glance, so that kind of kills that theory a little bit, but I don't know. The Mist? Are they in the Florian? No. Oh, did the Florian Triangle? Well, no, the Florian Triangle's in the Grand Line. What am I saying? I don't know. I don't know what this is, but music died in the... Okay, wait. Now I just realized this person is saying the thing is out of tune. Music died. Is this some mystical magic shit going on? Or is this just a coincidence? Everything's out of tune now? Like, everyone's instruments just started not working? Like, what? In Shuri's 15th year, music died in the kingdom of Hesperia. A thick mist surrounded the country and lingered for half a year. And we see, the country, but this thick, mist, fog surrounding it. The land's treasured instruments decayed as the mist turned to smog. Okay, so it has to do with this mist. There's clearly something in the mist, right? That's decaying the instruments and making them out of tune and not work properly. Devil fruit? Probably. Interesting. Decayed as the mist turned to smog, the island was swallowed whole by this, I guess, mist. Next panel, music no longer echoed through the streets. Joyful melodies gave way to the sound of coughing. And Brook, we get a little thing of Brook right here saying, let's bring on the music. He's coughs. Let's bring on the music. Yeah. So everyone's coughing. Brook has this, like, I think a makeshift guitar, or I guess maybe it's just a normal guitar that's decayed. I think it is. Yeah, it's a decayed version of the guitar, and he's trying to play it, and he's coughing, and everyone's on the streets, I guess, coughing too. The toxic smog ravaged the lungs of tens of thousands and claimed the what the fuck? Oh my god, what the hell? People just die. Yeah, claimed the lives of hundreds. People just dying from this freaking tuberculosis. What is this? Candelle saying, the fog will clear. It must. She's giving this, address to the people of Hesperia. Shit, dude, why is this? Is this just natural? Is this from someone else? Right? Clearly the fog is, I mean, I'm assuming that's what's causing the instruments to, like, rot and decay. But we get a panel of, I think, Brook. It's kind of a almost dark panel of him in, like, the junkyard area, probably. Next panel. No! Oh, shit. She just died. That's, oh my god. Right, let me first read. Beset by one imaginable tragedy after another, the kingdom knew nothing but suffering. Even after the fog had lifted, the scars it caused remained. She's dead. Okay, the narrator doesn't even say it. That's why Brook doesn't mention her. Okay. Why didn't I think of that? I knew that Shuri was clearly not the one who killed her. She only killed her father. But I'm like, what killed Candelle? Because she's probably not alive. She's dead, I think, right? Yes, this is, the narrator doesn't say it, but there's this portrait of her. She's dead. And everyone's there. Everyone's tattered clothing. Oh my god. Beset by one unimaginable tragedy after another king. Oh my god. Yeah. Next panel, they're crying. Oh, no, please don't, bro. Shuri's tears, Leuven's, Brook's crying, Leuven at her grave, at the grave of Candelle. Tears in his eyes as well. What the fuck? What did Hesperia do to deserve this, bro? What did they do to deserve this? Holy shit. She dies. They're crying. It's bad. Next panel. Your Highness, we still owe the government this year's heavenly tribute, but we can't afford to pay them. Oh, is that why? Well, I guess, I was going to say, is that why the Knights of God get involved? But do the Knights of God really get involved for just a country not paying their heavenly tribute? Or maybe they do. Maybe that's what happens. But Now we get another look at Asperia looking all rotten. Like the freaking, remember the harp thing that's like next to the palace? That's also decayed, right? So another, like kind of another instrument being decayed there as well. And yeah, this place just looks like shit, dude. Maybe it is Thriller Bark. I don't know. I don't think it is Thriller Bark. Because again, this country has like kind of like a three-tiered, layered like structure to it, whereas Thriller Bark I don't think has that. And I feel like it would have if I would have wanted to draw the parallel between them. But yeah, they can't afford to pay the heavenly tribute. Oh, something happened? What the hell? Hi, yeah. Oh, wait. So this is just Brook and Gunko, or Shuri, keep saying Gunko, sparring. Hi, yeah. And they're fighting here. Whoa there, says Brook. Blocks her thrust with the sword. Princess, the way you move, sometimes it's like you can see the future. Future sight? Hey, yo. Oh, I mean, I'm alright. This might just be in Brook, just describing it figuratively like that. Princess, the way you move, sometimes it's like you can see in the future. Hey, I'm gonna be just like my mommy. I mean mother, says Shuri, and Brook saying, I think you would be, it's raining, by the way. Raining, that's not a good sign. That's kind of interesting scenery to depict in this scene. But Brook saying, I think you would be well suited for that, but I doubt your father would be pleased at the notion of you fighting on the front lines, princess. Father, he seems troubled lately, says Shuri, right? Obviously, because of the heavenly tribute, and there's a little dog next to both of them as they're walking along like the courtyard. Brook says, I have an idea why, but there's nothing we can do about it. I will simply follow the king to the very end. Didn't you want to become a pirate, Brook? Right? That's what we heard in that, we saw in that little flashback way back, like chapter 1149, right? She says that, and Brook says, I'm happy to put my own dreams on hold while I repay my debt to His Majesty. When the time comes, I'm going with you, says Shuri. Absolutely not, says Brook. Try and stop me, says Shuri, so, okay. But yeah, Brook clearly has his personal dream, but he's putting it on hold for this. I wonder, maybe we'll see Yorkie get involved, maybe not. I'm starting to think that Yorkie was a pirate, like the Rumbar Pirates were a crew that didn't originate from Asperia. I'm starting to get that feeling, and they were from somewhere else, and Brook just happened to join them, instead of Yorkie being like a friend of Brook, and he's also from Asperia, because I feel like it would have been introduced by now, right? But I'm assuming they were just kind of like a pirate group. That was kind of like Brook just encountered, right? Next panel, switching perspectives. Whoa, why the fuck is Leuven all beat up? Did they come and beat him up for not paying the heavenly tribute? The world government is our enemy. This means war. What? Says I'm assuming Brook, and Leuven is saying this very serious. The world government is our enemy. This means war. Okay, next panel. Understood, says Brook. Commander, and they're, Brook is leaving the palace, I guess, after he listened to Leuven say this to him, and all the other, the guard corps is like, Commander, Your Majesty, I just ask that you tell us your reasoning for, so he's telling this to everyone, okay. And Leuven, Brook, they demanded 1,000 slaves. Oh my god, why? Not surprised, but is that what they do to, because I don't know if we know much about what the government does to countries who can't pay like the heavenly tribute. I'm trying to think of examples, like if we got in things like that before. Is it like, did we have something similar in the Sorbet Kingdom with Kuma's flashback? I don't know. I know there was stuff going on with the government with like the king, right? King Picori, right? But I don't know. Do we have an example of a country that just was part of the government, but then couldn't pay the heavenly tribute, and then now like seeing what the government does to countries like that? I think this might be the first example, or at least the first notable example. But they demanded 1,000 slaves, I guess, instead of, if you can't pay up, give us slaves. 1,000, that's fucking crazy. And Leuven's saying this, and everyone's kind of question mark, exclamation mark, surprised by that. And Leuven continues, that is the only way they would waive this year's heavenly tribute. Slavery in the Holy Land is a fate worse than death. Yeah. So, and then everyone replies by saying, no way. Everyone's here gathered listening to what Leuven's got to say. And Leuven saying, the government's armada will arrive in 2 months, and I have no intention of choosing human sacrifices to hand over to them. Okay, so Leuven's like, nope, Yeah, that's what he said. This means war. I'm not gonna listen to them. That means if we don't, they wanted the heavenly tribute. We can't give that. They want slaves. We're not doing that. Okay, so we're just gonna have to, because people who aren't a part of the world government, right? I mean, interesting. I mean, because we know countries who are part of the world government and have to pay heavenly tribute. The one benefit there is that pirates don't attack them, right? Because they have their world government affiliated nations. World government will technically maybe help them. I don't know, but I feel like, am I confusing that? Am I tripping? That was that one of the benefits technically that comes with being part of the world government? And if not, you're just kind of left to the side alone, right? And if pirates attack you, you're not going to get help, right? The world government is not associated with you. But in this case, they're refusing, they're saying we want slaves, we're not giving it to you, but instead of just revoking their status to be part of the world government, the government's retaliating by sending, what are they going to do? Are they just going to get those slaves forcefully? And that's kind of crazy. I have no intention of choosing human sacrifices hand over to them. Next panel, switching perspectives to Brook and walking through the town. People asking him, is our country done for, Commander? Don't all non-member nations turn into lawless zones? Yeah, lawless zones. But that's what I'm saying. Non-member nations turn into lawless zones. But does that also mean that the world government is also obviously they're also free to do whatever they want, but like I would assume they wouldn't intentionally like be the first ones to like try to hurt them, right? I would assume it would just be like, a celestial dragon shows up or someone shows up and they start doing, they start shooting citizens or whatever. I mean, that's what happened to God Valley. But it's interesting that the moment they're like, we're not going to do what you ask, okay, we're just going to strip your, your status as a member nation, but we're not just going to leave you alone and let you face the consequences of turning into a lawless zone. No, we're going to strip that status away. And then we ourselves are going to pull up and we're going to do something to you. That's the interesting part to me. The world government is like not only stripping that status away, but they themselves are going to show up to punish them. Which, are they going to lay waste to the country? Probably not. I don't know. Because then if they do lay waste to the country, then I feel like non-member nations wouldn't even be a thing, because then the countries would just be destroyed at that point. You're either with the world government or you're not. But there's clearly nations who are not part of the world government. So maybe they strip away the status, they show up, they like slaughter a bunch of people, but then they leave, and the country's still technically alive, but it's like cooked. It's like really cooked. Maybe, I don't know. So they asked that, and people are continuing to ask, are they really gonna loot us for everything we've got? Okay, so like a quick loot. That's kind of what I was saying right now. Apparently there was once another nation in the West Blue that disappeared too, says these people. Wait, what are they referring to? It's not O'Hara. It's not God Valley. God Valley hasn't happened. What is another? Oh, it's Thriller Bark. It's got to be Thriller Bark, right? Maybe Thriller Bark was the nation that Brook was talking about, that his dialect for his lyrics come from, right? Kamigata, I think it was. Maybe that's Thriller Bark. This has to be referencing Thriller Bark, right? God Valley hasn't happened yet. O'Hara hasn't happened yet. Maybe it's Thriller Bark, right? Probably. And Brook continuing to say, I've heard there's all these tales out where the deadly sea wind wails, and he's on his guitar, about a land that makes the mighty shake with fear, a land they won't come near. A home for the samurai and them giant folk. It exists like all the tales spoke. Like a mean old bee, a sting and they'll flee. They said to I know what he's referencing, okay. They said to consider your views. He's referring to Wano and Elbaf, right? Both. Oh, okay. So maybe Brook is coping, right? He's going to be like, we can just be like them, because they are also non-member nations. But at the same time, the government, unlike this country, the government's not going to show up there because there's strong people there, right? There's strong people to keep them away, right? In Wano and Elbaf. Also, Wano geographically is just very hard to access as well. But yeah, those are examples of non-member nations that the world government does not fuck with. So maybe Brook is going to be like, well, we got to be strong enough to defend against the world government, so then we could become like Wano and Elbaf, where non-member nations, but the world government doesn't, like, they're not that, Shit doesn't go down that often. It's not that much of a lawless zone like other non-member nations are. But he's saying this like a mean old bee, a sting and they'll leave. They said to consider your views, because we've got nothing to lose. As Brooks singing this, and everyone's happy about this, and he's like, "Wow, hey, that's right." Oh no, switching. Oh, I'm fucking scared, dude. They've landed on the northern port. Platoon 12 intercept. I saw the little page spread beginning. Are we gonna see more Knights of God, or at least I guess from this time period? Y'all better buzz off. And they're attacking, so 2 world government ships show up. I'm at the top right of this double page spread. Nobody said that there'd be this many of them. Don't let them set foot on the island. Y'all better buzz off. Hey, I was kind of right with the lyric of the song switch meanings, right? Went from the Shuri pushing her parents away to now pushing the freaking government away. Y'all better buzz off. The guard corps is attacking the world government. We don't see who on the world government's on there, right? It's just, I guess, marine. It's just a marine. It's the Marines, bro. It's the Marines. Of course, right there. It's the world government fighting force. Yeah, just marine ships shooting cannonballs into the freaking island, and Brooks saying, "We're out here on the map's edge, but y'all don't scoff. But don't y'all scoff." Huff, and Brooks kind of ready to unsheath his sword. Our name ain't something that can be wiped with ease. You'll find taking our home ain't gonna be no breeze. He's singing, bro. He adapted his song a little bit, right, with the lyrics. Gone. People get blown up, and Brooke is running past them as they get blown up and ready to probably strike back. Huff. Oh my god, wait. Am I? Oh, there's 2 double page. Jesus Christ, this chapter's not over. Oh my god, okay. Commander, the enemy has breached the palace. Oh, okay, so he's not going to the coast. He's going back to the palace. Commander, the enemy has breached the palace. I'll hold the barricade at the staircase, says Brooke, running toward there. We get a little flashback of I guess, before the government showed up, as Shuri asking her father, "Why can't I fight too?" "That's out of the question. We'll be at their mercy if they capture you," says Leuven. "Don't you have any crazy ideas now, princess?" It's a raider. Oh, so the government showed up to the. Oh yeah, Brooke is saying this. Don't you have any crazy ideas now, princess? As Brooke's running toward the palace, we got some Marines here. It's a raider. Oh man, princess, the garden we always walked in, it's been set ablaze, and Brooke's rushing past there. Everything, the garden's set ablaze, as he says. "Oh, your majesty, the junkyard we used to play in has been reduced to a hellish inferno." Very Gray Terminal vibes. ASL flashback. It's in flames. We get a panel of that. Y'all better buzz off. The edge of the map's a hell of a sight, because it shines mighty bright. As Brooks get in the palace, freaking slashing people, going crazy. If we finally snap for real, that shaking is all you'll feel. As Brooks slashing more people. Huff. Your Majesty, Princess Shuri. Oh, no, is Princess Shuri already going to be a victim? Is there going to be a freaking emu Knights of God on the next panel, maybe? I don't know. Is this the moment where she kills her father? I don't know, but that means a crazy, set of events happen that were off screen. That's crazy. Okay, so Brooke gets up there. He, is surprised. Double page spread. Oh my god, big ass panel. What the fuck? It was. That's fuck. Duh, she decapitated. Holy shit. Oh no. Holy. Oh no. Oh, I thought she decapitated him. No, it's just the body of another Knight of God sitting there, but she killed him. And Emu, that's Emu. No, wait. No, that's not. Is that fucking Mars? That's not Emu. That's Mars, bro. Gorosei? Huh? That's Mars, bro. Right? Holy shit, what a fucking panel. Brooke walks in, dead. He's dead on the ground. Shuri has already got the wings. She's already possessed by Emu, probably. That looks like fucking Marcus Mars. What a shot. And we got this. Who the fuck is sitting down right here? This is clearly a Knight of God. Maybe one we haven't met yet. I don't know. Next panel, dead on the ground. Brooke fucking terrified. Shuri looking like she's possessed. This other Knight of God looking. Who the fuck is this? Smoking a cigar. ... Worried about the war, says Gunko at this point. I'll call her Gunko at this point. Worried about the war? It's already over, Brook. Brook, 1,000-yard stare. Aren't you happy? What happened here? Says the Shonen Jump text. One Piece chapter 1185. Break next week. Fuck. No, Oda, please. We're in the trenches in terms of breaks, man. Fuck. What a chapter. What a chapter. That was a meaty chapter. Oh my god. That was a meaty fucking chapter. I gotta end this because my recording might end right now because of storage. But oh my god, what a chapter! Just Oda making us attached to these characters with Candelle, Shuri, everything, wholesome montage, and then just freaking tragedy. Just like the fog, she's dead. They're crying. Heavenly tribute. The government's gonna pull up. They do. Boom. What the fuck? What is this, bro? That looks like Marcus Mars. I don't know. That might not be Marcus Mars, but that looks like Marcus Mars. I don't know who this Knight of God is. Maybe it's the commander at this time, right? Maybe it's not Garling. Why are they here? There's still questions. Why is there's clearly still something special about this country that has to do with the world government ship showing up years prior, probably that has to do with it, because this isn't just a non-member nation that they're showing up to punish and kind of loot, right, for not being a member nation anymore. There's something special. The Knights of God are involved. Emu's involved. Shuri's possessed. Why is that the case? Why, right? There's clearly something special going on. I think it has to do with that little mention Brook got. We'll probably get elaborated on that. But holy shit. What a chapter. Oh my god. I was nervous at the end there, man. What a panel right here. Just absolute fucking craziness. What happened while Brook was gone? How did this happen? Holy shit. What? Oh my god. There wasn't an abyss circle here, right? So wait. Am I tripping, or does Leuven have horns and wings? Was he also possessed? He also was. I was gonna say that. He has wings like Gunko. They were both possessed because Gunko also has horns as well. So they were both like Domir Versied. She's Domir Versied too, maybe. But then he got killed. Why did he get killed then? What? Okay, I'm confused there. That is also very confusing. What the hell? So they were both clearly messed with, but he ended up dying in the end, but she didn't. Oh my god. I'm fucking confused. Holy shit. Aren't you happy, Brook? Aren't you happy? The war is over. Everything's gone, and she's licking her blood on her face too. I'm done. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna end it there, right? I don't want this recording to end. This was a long-ass chapter reaction, but yes. Break next week. I guess I'll see you all there. And yeah, I can't wait to find more about this, but damn, bro. Fucking Oda. I knew the tragedy was gonna strike. But yeah, that's about it, everyone. See ya.